Hey, Scrappy People, it's Tracy Reed here today, coming at you with a fun single-page layout for my December daily. I am scrapbooking all of the holiday books that I have been reading. Apparently, even though I don't love holiday Hallmark movies, I think that they're cheesy and awful, sorry you guys, I will read the heck out of a holiday Christmas book that is very much Hallmark style. I guess I find them less cringy when I don't have to actually see people acting terribly. Anyway, I'm using these fun stamps from Kellie Stamps. They are her book themed stamps, and I have created a pattern out of them on my stamping block, and I am just stamping the whole page. Unfortunately, a lot of this gets covered up, but it is so fun and creates a really cool background for the whole page. So I just used some gray ink for that because I wanted it to be not quite so dark as a black ink would have been, and I'm going to separate the photos with this vellum mat so that you can still see the stamping underneath. I decided to go with gold because there's a lot of gold in my photos, so I thought it would match pretty well. You can see the gold ribbon in that one, and then my Christmas tree with the lights and everything comes off very golden as well. So I trimmed that down, and I'm going to trim down this card from my Stay Home for the Holidays collection that says vicariously celebrating the season through Hallmark movies, but I'm going to change movies to books with some letter stickers, and I'm going to make it obvious that I covered up movies with books because that's kind of the whole point of the journaling of this page. So I'm going to, not try and hide the fact that it said movies before I covered it up with books. So I've trimmed it down to be the same size as the photos above, with more space on the bottom so that it will have room for that books lettering, and it just sort of kind of matches too. Then I'm going to center this on the page. Initially I thought I was going to offset it to compensate for the holes on the right hand side, but I didn't like the way that looked, so I'm just going to put it right in the middle and let the holes do their damage through the side of the vellum. It actually doesn't end up being that big of a deal, so no biggie. It just cuts barely through the vellum on that side, and you don't even really notice it. Perfect. So I'm going to put my journaling at the bottom. So I'm going to create a little vellum mat for my journaling as well. And I'm actually going to print it out in strips. So that will kind of flow with the rest of the layout as well. I'm going to take this currently reading stamp from my background, and I'm going to create a little centerpiece in the middle for it. And I'm going to use red Catherine Pooler ink. This is Cranberry Fizz, which is the one I've been using this entire time, and I am going to cut it out in a circle, and then I'm going to restamp it because the way that I stamped it the first time I couldn't cut it out in a circle effectively. So I'm going to stamp it in the circle that I've already cut. And then I felt like I needed to add the fact that, they're Christmassy books or wintry books instead of just what I'm currently reading. So after I ink the edges of this, because I felt like it needed to stand out a little bit more, I'm going to grab a snowflake stamp from an old Cocoa Daisy collection, and I'm going to add in some little snowflakes on this as well. Just some random ones. Kind of going on and off the label itself. There we go. And I'm going to put this right in the middle of my four corners that I created with that layout. And you can see this is really linear for me, which actually I always find it fun to just put in some randomly different layout styles in my albums. I like experimenting and playing with different styles anyway, so it's kind of fun always to have this clean lined look when the rest of my album is very interactive, very chunky. So I'm going to glue down my journaling, And then I was looking at this after I had it all done, and I couldn't deal. It couldn't be completely clean and perfect, although it was really great the way that it was. And if I were a simple scrapbooker, it would have been perfect, but I am not a simple scrapbooker. I like pictures and stickers and colors and all of that stuff. So what I'm going to do is bring in some old crate paper stickers, and like the way that this felt to me, the pictures that I took and the vibe of the layout felt very cozy to me. Look, you can see me thinking about it. So I always tap my finger when I think. Anyway, this felt very cozy to me. So I'm going to use this wreath as a like to enhance the circular middle piece, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I'm going to use this wreath and then all its little accompanying gold dots. And then I'm going to use these crate paper stickers that have, there's a sweater and there's little socks, and I'm going to add those to my layout as well because it felt comfy and cozy, and that was kind of the vibe that I was trying to give off. So I'm going to add those as soon as I stop playing with these gold dots. Gosh, who would have thought it would be such a struggle to figure out where little tiny gold dots go? So here you can see the pink socks, and then there's a sweater. And what's really cool about this is that this matches, or this goes right next to the layout of, or a layout of Finn wearing a red Christmas sweater that kind of, I mean, it's not the same, but it looks similar to this one. So they kind of match, and it's really cool the way that it works in my album. I didn't do it on purpose, but it worked out perfectly. So I need to rearrange these letters so that the sweater will fit. But that is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you. If you don't already, you can follow me over on Instagram. I'm at Tracy M. Reed. I'd love to see you over there as well. And I will leave a link to these Kellie stamps in the description box below. And I will see you next time. All right, thank you.